it. So, like, I watched it again today. So, first of all, the beginning voiceover I thought was pretty epic because, you know, how can you not absolutely adore Odin's voice? I mean, come on. Dude is a legit actor. I personally thought he was badass, but, like, the fight scene itself, like, I thought the actual battle between the Asgardians, whatever, if you want to pronounce it the wrong way, that's fine. But personally, I felt like also with the elves and the dark elves and all that, with the masks and the armor and the weapons that they were using, I just thought it was a really cool battle going back and forth. And like I said, Anthony Hopkins has done a fantastic job in almost every role I've ever seen him in, and I think he nailed it with Odin too, and he has great voiceover voice. So you got that beginning. I just think the way that they depicted the two different races fighting each other, it was just really cool. Let's talk for a moment about how badass Loki is. First of all, I feel like the way that he delivers the comedy is good because he's being mischievous, and he's, you know, this whole military group, because you're seeing their soldiers and their warriors, you're not seeing their artists and poets, you're seeing their warriors. So it's like, I'm sorry, absolutely badass. The entire cast is absolutely incredible. Like, I don't think I can complain about anyone in the cast besides for Natalie Portman, just because I'm not a huge fan of her or most of the stuff that she's performed in. But, okay, she did good in this movie. She's done good in other movies. I'm just not a huge fan of her, just in general. But again, Anthony Hopkins, badass. Thor, badass. The freaking... So they introduced Thor and Lady Sif. I don't understand why Thor wants the astrophysicist over the warrior who's going to live as long as him. You know, even in actual talking about Norse legends and stuff, Sif is actually Thor's wife. Usually she's blonde, though, interestingly enough. But, again, awesome. The scene itself, again, great battle fight scene that feels old school, but also feels kind of, you know, in the now. Their dynamic back and forth. Oh, you know, I'm here to help you out. I don't need help. I have it under control. Their jokes are great. LOL, of course you hate Natalie Portman. I didn't say I hate Natalie Portman. I said I don't care for Natalie Portman. It's okay. A solid 5 or 6. Lower if we were doing Marvel and not Marvel at the same time. It would be cool if Boar was in Marvel Future Fight, or maybe not, since Odin sucks. Yeah, and actually I'm going to get to that. I actually have a comment here about Marvel Future Fight when we get to a certain scene. But really, really, really like this scene. And the fact that he pretty much takes, you know, this big giant rock guy comes over and he's all like, you know, you can surrender, and everyone thinks it's funny. But in fact, it's not funny, because he straight up takes him out with a single blow. And then the whole army's like, okay, yep, we're done fighting. So again, it's just... I think the humor is well placed. I think the movie's well timed. I feel like it... I just feel like it brought a lot to the screen. And then, of course, you know, the classic, two armies are fighting, but they're all going to stop to see their two titans fight. It's just one of those classic goofy movie scenes, but it's fun. I like it. And look at this. Look at the freaking display. Look at Asgard. Asgard is like, it's fucking badass. It just looks neat, okay? You got a little bit of the technology, but you have that old Norse feel to it still. I just think that they did it really, really well. And again, I just can't get over how action-packed the movie is. It flows nicely. It doesn't wait. It doesn't waste time, which is one of the bitches I had about the first 2 hours of Endgame. They drew it out. And I feel like Dark World had a better pacing to it. And like I said, the most annoying thing, and again, look at this imagery again with the ravens, Hunan and Munin, you know, Odin's ravens, and they even have him with his ravens in the freaking movie. How cool is that shit? Again, Lady Sif, badass, strong warrior. Easily Thor's equal and would be a great fit for him, but whatever. Doesn't hurt that she's not bad on the eyes either, but she's just a badass character. I absolutely love the character Sif. And again, that whole Norse feel, even though we're talking about technology and stuff like that, this easily could have been an excerpt from some sort of like Nordic Scandinavian movie, easily. And it's just, yeah, again, just really, really good characters, nice feel and nice atmosphere to everything. Now, again, I don't like Natalie Portman that much, but she did well. And I'm sorry, Darcy's character, everything that came out of this woman's mouth is comic gold. How she interrupts the date. The whole scene to me was hysterical because of how awkward it is, but it was fun, and it made me... And it was just something that's engaging, I think. And again, I think it was a proper insertion of comedy instead of the whole movie being nonstop comedy. I thought the comic relief was well delivered, and her character is hysterical for me. I also like the fact that Natalie Portman, like the two options for Thor are an astrophysicist and a warrior. Two very, very powerful women in different ways. And they don't push it in your face. It's natural, it feels right. And I like the way that they depict his two love interests. It's awesome. Yeah. So the car keys disappearing when they eventually... So first of all, yeah, the elves. The elves are freaking creepy as hell. Look how cool and creepy this is. This is how elves should be depicted. This is fucking awesome. It's like all gothic-y and dark and horror-like. It is freaking awesome. And then the part where she gets the ether. So, like, they're going into, like, this area where these kids find this stuff, and, like, they're throwing stuff and it's disappearing, and some things aren't coming back. And, like, even when the intern throw the keys and they disappear, like, was that the car key? Just, again, well-placed humor, well-timed. It felt good. The sexist coming out again, caused by Dark World, really brings the hate out of you. I'm sexist because I don't like an actress. She's just not a good actress. I just don't like her. I don't hate her. I just not a huge fan. Sorry. And again, the whole sexist remark. There are plenty of other very powerful women in this that did a phenomenal portrayal of their characters that I really, really genuinely liked. You know, Kat Dennings as Darcy Lewis, Jamie Alexander as Sif, Renee Russo as Frigga. Phenomenal actresses, phenomenal characters, great performance. Really liked their work. Anyway, moving along. This scene was also pretty badass when she's absorbing the ether. I don't understand why it's like none of the kids found the ether, only she found the ether, but whatever, it's a movie. We'll forego that. As soon as she sees Thor again, she ends up slapping him, which is hysterical. And then she slaps him again. And again, everything Darcy Lewis's character says is absolute comic gold. Just, oh, you're still muscular. How's space? Just constantly her humor. I just think it evens it out in a nice way. I think it's entertaining. Very entertaining. The argument over the Soul Forge here being a quantum generator was hysterical. I liked it. It was well timed and well placed. They're being all serious, trying to save her life, and she's sitting here arguing over what their Soul Forge is called. The depiction of Isidrio and the 9 realms and the world tree. Awesome, awesome imagery. Again, tapping into some of the Nordic legends and stuff like that. Cool stuff. And I know it's a comic and it's only roughly based on them, but it's still cool. Cool shit. The book, the moving book. Look at this imagery. Look at the artwork in this book. This shit is awesome. Again, I just really, really ended up liking it. Even mentions relics that were before the universe and about how they normally appear as stones, but the ether is fluid and ever-changing. So they're covering the fact that they're infinity stones. They're realizing that they know what they are without outright saying they're infinity stones until the after-credits scene. That's some good shit right there. Another reason Ragnarok pissed me off. Such awesome characters and actors in this that are cast in this, and they end up disposing of them, just getting rid of them. Sif, gone. Fandriel, gone. Frigga, gone. Volstagg, gone. Hogun, gone. Tyr, gone. Air, gone. They just eliminate them. They have this huge, great, powerful cast of characters, really, really good actors and actresses, really lovable characters, a great world, and they just eliminate it and just toss it to the side. There's so much more they could have done with Thor's world and Asgard and the Asgardians than they ended up doing, and it really bothers me. Gungnir's depiction, this is the part I was going to mention about Marvel Future Fight with you. Gungnir is Odin's spear. So, in Norse mythology, legends, traditions, history, however you want to depict it, whatever. I usually call it legends, but whatever. Gungnir was able to be thrown, hit any target, and then return to Odin's hand. and it was this awesome battle spear. So the way that it's designed in the movie is awesome. The beams that it fires out is awesome. And it really bothers me in Marvel Future Fight that Odin, who in fact did beat Thanos up in the comics, which granted, Thanos doesn't appear until Odin dies. So okay, one of his biggest threats is gone. Odin's supposed to be a badass. He is so underpowered in Marvel Future Fight, it's ridiculous. And they gave him the Odin sword over Gungnir. It's like, I get it, Odin's sword, you draw it, Ragnarok, blah, 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 whatever. But Gungnir, I really, really, really hope they give a uniform to Odin, make him relevant again, and give him Gungnir. That would be badass in my fucking opinion. Just saying. I also like when the Dark Elves are attacking, just the technology and the difference in the technology and how one just feels dark, mechanical, gothic-y, and the other one feels like more Norse with meets Star Wars laser blast. It's a neat offset between the characters. I just think it's cool. I like the technology. Now, it was pretty cheesy that the ship that Malekith is on is the only one that makes it into the throne room. That was kind of cheesy. And also kind of weird that they rebuild the entire throne room and the throne by the end of the movie. But again, we'll get over it. Again, talking about strong, powerful. What? Bored to death? Yeah, War of the Realms would be good. Frigga, Odin, Uni, Malekith update. That would be sweet. What happened to Sif? Blaze bored her to death. So rude, Barstool. Sif was supposed to be in Ragnarok, but the actress was playing in a different movie, so she couldn't appear. She's been in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then apparently in Infinity War, she was snapped away. She apparently comes back, obviously, because they undo the snap, but they don't really say. And apparently the actress talked about she wouldn't mind appearing in Avengers 4, so we'll see if they bring her back. But I would love to see Sif again. I also loved how she was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That actress is a phenomenal actress with a very powerful character. A strong character that doesn't feel overpowered, still is humanized, and does some actual growth and development. That is how a Marvel powerful, badass woman hero should be, not like Captain Marvel, in my opinion. Frigga, another great example. She is this wise, powerful mother who's the voice of reason, who's intelligent, witty, charming, and fun. And she's a fucking badass. In this scene where she's protecting her son's crush, Malekith comes in and she beats the fuck out of him. She is literally about to kill him with a blade at his throat. And if it wasn't for his other elf dude that had the stone that turned him into this big monster thing, she would have won. That is badass. Needed no help, by herself, Queen of Asgard, beat the fuck out of Malekith. That is some cool shit. That fight scene was awesome. It wasn't drawn out. It wasn't overly dramatic. It was, you're gonna fuck with me, you're gonna come into my house, you're dead. Oh, now your little boy is gonna come up behind me and he's overpowered with his little stone thing. Yeah, fuck that shit. Frigga had his fucking ass. And the fact that they kill her here, no, it was like heart-wrenching and sad and depressing as fuck when she died. Oh, I did not like when she died, but I get it. It was a war with a threat. It was back and forth. It was this little battle skirmish. Unlike Thanos, who just literally takes over the ship, no opposition, takes out half of the Asgardians, complete bullshit. This is at least back and forth, equal fighting, and they just, again, made Thanos way too overpowered. Not sure why. Here's her with her sword at his throat. She beat him. Absolutely beat him. He is dead here. Easily. Until his buddy. And it was heart-wrenching to see her die. And again, great acting on all of the actors' faces and the emotion, and it was really raw. It was real. It was just well done. And even here, like the plot. I want your permission, Father, to go make things right. Nope, we're gonna do it my way. And he defies him, and he does something out of character and gets sneaky because he wants revenge. There's just so much emotion. Like, should I be the good son and the good soldier, or should I go ahead and get vengeance from my mother? And the back and forth and the deceit. It was just such a good plot. Again, how do you not like this? I don't get it. And then Loki, to just the whole illusion and display, and then he removes it and he shows that he's like torn apart because he did love his mother, even though his adopted father and adopted mother obviously are pissing him off. And just to show what the character goes through. Again, this is character development. This is good shit. Good shit. I like it. I'm not sure, and I guess I didn't take a screenshot of that. I'm not sure why they ended up setting the ships on fire. I guess that's, I don't know. For the, like, so, like, all, obviously, Frigga first, but then all the soldiers that died during the invasion, they set their ships on fire by firing fire arrows into the ship. They didn't do that kind of thing back then if they're trying to base it on old traditions, because if you set the ship on fire, it would burn, and then it would go out in the water, and then it would sink, and then the corpse would still be out there in the water. So if they were going to do a funeral pyre, they would have burnt the ship on shore and then scattered the ashes or buried the ashes. And in Norse traditions, they did sometimes bury them with ships, but the whole setting the ship on fire, I don't know where they got that from. I guess it's just whatever. We'll move on. Again, the dynamic between Loki and Thor in this whole movie is great. You have one gruff, serious person who's kind of slow and dim-witted to a degree and uses muscle and strength, and then you have this really, really smart magic user who is constantly making jokes and making light of everything. The way he's changing his image back and forth and arguing with his brother. It's hysterical and it's well done. Again, the dynamic between the two, extremely entertaining and fun to watch. Great scene. Turns Thor in the Sif here. And then he goes back and forth, goes into Captain America, and like, oh, this suit's so tight, I could feel the righteousness, and just goofy shit like that. It's fun, it's enjoyable in a good way without blowing it out of proportion. Absolutely love that shit. Got to adjust my FFB roster, be right back. I was like, what the fuck, where is she? I thought she died somewhere in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I really like her in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, I really liked her in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too, Solar Wolf, but no, she didn't die. She was doing another movie in Ragnarok, and they just had her snapped away, unfortunately. So she's out there, she's alive, but I don't know what they're going to do with her in the future. Really do hope they bring her back. But of course, with Jane Foster still in the picture, apparently they're going to put Thor with Jane Foster, more than likely. Whatever. You heard it here first. Blaze thinks all females should be supporting characters in Marvel. What the fuck, dude? I didn't say that. Making shit up. Dude, I'm starting to like this movie. You know, he complains about how the Asgardians were treated in Endgame. Good thing he's not a fan of Nova. Xander destroyed off camera. Interesting. I don't know much about Nova. I've only seen him in the couple cartoons. Never read much about the comics with him. Thor getting mad at technology. Again, funny. I am touching it lightly, getting really mad, then he finally starts the ship. That shit, again, was pretty good. I liked it. Then, one more time, him tricking him. Now, back here in the back, Fandrill, this actor is actually Zachary Levi, or Levi, or whatever, how you say his name. He played Chuck in this show Chuck, where he had, like, the intersect in his hand and his head, and he was basically like, almost built in with the machine and all this data. Hysterical, great comical actor. He actually plays Shazam in the new movie. But yeah, this badass Asgardians that help him get out, and they got rid of them all. And it's like, come on, they were such cool characters. They literally just eliminated great characters and actors for no reason. Oh, so frustrating. So frustrating. Everyone threatens Loki on his way out. It's hysterical. Literally, you betray Thor, I will kill you. And you betray Thor, like, literally nonstop. Everybody Loki passes threatens him. It's good. It's funny shit. Raw emotion between Loki and Thor when they're arguing about their mother and their father and all the different shit and why he's in prison and back and forth. Like, just raw emotion, but still them coming together as brothers at the end. Again, great dynamic. The two of them working together. Funny scene again. Every time she's on screen, it's something awkward and comical. The two of them coming together for the plot. One of the best scenes in the movie. Even some of you mentioned the fact of how good it was, because they make it look like Loki's betraying him, cuts off his hand and everything else to get him to get the ether out, and then attack. Great plan, well executed, and Loki uses this as an excuse to escape, of course. But it's just good. It's just good shit. I like the scene on a whole. I like the plot. Malekith progressing as the movie goes on. This guy that's so bent on getting his, I guess, birthright and turning the world back in the darkness because that's what the world's used to be like, and he wants to take back over, and most of his race is destroyed trying to get the ether last time, and he has all this, and he's not overpowered like Thanos, but he is still a genuine threat. Again, equal terms instead of overpowered dude that takes all of the, it's just, what? Oh, do not like Thanos. Malekith was a better enemy in my opinion. Dude was fucking badass. And guess what? He now has the power of an Infinity Stone. And he can still be stopped by just Thor. Doesn't need all the Avengers. Again, a big, big threat that could literally wipe out multiple worlds. But on a smaller scale, with equal footing, it was just about timing or being in the right place. Thor is so powerful, but he struggles throughout the movie because he can't be everywhere at once. And he's twisted and torn between obligation and duty and trying to do what he feels is right. And then, of course, following a girl that he's falling in love with. So it's like there's all of this different dynamics going on with the character, all this inner turmoil and conflict. This is good shit. Good shit. Again, the plot thing, as I'd mentioned, Loki, of course, escaping here. Very heart-wrenching scene, and then he finds out later it's done. Again, more humor, putting Mjolnir on the coat rack. Just goofiness that seems... The way he delivers it, he's not delivering it as a comedian. He's just like, oh, okay, well, this is where you hang stuff. I'll hang Mjolnir here for a moment. It's just... But it's funny. Same thing like in the first movie when he shatters the cup and he says another. It's just he's doing stuff that seems normal to him, but is comical from the outside because it doesn't fit the world he's in. Because he travels to different worlds, it's offsetting in a humorous way, and it's good comedy, in my opinion. Just, again, dynamics between the characters, good stuff. The battle between them. And then the comedy, again, that they pull through as things are warping through back and forth. They add in these little humorous moments just for fun. And it was kind of amusing when Mjolnir kept zipping around left and right all over the place as he's going through these different realms to fight. And it's kind of surprising that no humans ended up in other worlds permanently, or things from other worlds ended up in our worlds permanently. And if it did, they never expanded upon that. The fact that they're on equal footing and the Infinity Stone's still there, but they're still going back and forth with it. It was just, I don't know, I thought it was pretty good. And it was actually kind of humorous to me that Darcy mispronounced Mjolnir so bad in this scene. She says Mjolnir or something like she really fucks it up, and it's hysterical because everyone else does it fine, but she butchers it in this scene. It was just kind of comical. And then after everything said and done, at the end of the movie, it's like they try to go back to normal and have this really awkward breakfast scene where it's kind of like, okay, yep, things happen, life moves on. But obviously you're still traumatized from it. And then, of course, Loki. I mean, again, great imagery, awesome sets, awesome scenes, powerful moments. And then, of course, seeing Loki alive again. Good stuff. And then they even, of course, give the ether to the Collector at the end. Again, great characters that they get rid of. It's just such a good stuff. I really, really, really liked it. So when I say that, yeah, I consider Dark World one of my preferred movies in the MCU, I mean that with good reason. I'm not just randomly saying it. Even if y'all don't agree with me, that's fine. Even if you still don't like it, that's fine. But I just really thought it was well done. I thought it was good shit. I enjoyed it. I watched it many times. I even watched it again today just because I liked it that much. Took those screenshots as I watched it today because it was just really, really good. It's good. I like it. Good stuff. Anyway, I'm sure you guys have commented quite a few more things. Let me catch up on that.